Yeah, we're back with the Republican frontrunner, Newt Gingrich. Mr. Gingrich, the Wall Street Journal had a particularly scathing editorial about your ties to Freddie Mac yesterday. They said that one problem you had was a lack of candor, and that more damaging than your opponent's criticism of your ties to Freddie Mac, because you did work for them, your opponents say as a lobbyist, you say as a consultant. They said, what the Journal says is that Mr. Gingrich does not understand why anyone is offended. And they say you would help your candidacy if you stopped defending your Freddie payday, admitted your mistake, and promised to atone as president by shrinking Fannie and Freddie and ultimately putting them out of business.
Well, I think candidly we earned that editorial by not stopping and handling this from the day one and laying it out. The facts are I didn't personally get that kind of money. It went to a consulting firm which had offices in 3 cities. The share I got of it was relatively small. We did consulting advice. The only thing I ever wrote for Freddie Mac that was ever published basically said, as part of it, they need more regulations. The only time I've talked to the Congress, to the Republicans in Congress, was in July of 2008, and it's actually in the New York Times at the time, and I said, vote against the bailout. I said, do not help Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. This is not something you should do. And I was supporting John Boehner in his opposition to a bailout bill for Fannie and Freddie. So the actual record is much closer to what the Wall Street Journal wants. I do, in fact, favor breaking them both up. I've said each of them should devolve into probably 4 or 5 companies, and they should be weaned off of the government endorsements, because it has given them both inappropriate advantages, and because we now know from the history of how they evolved that they abused that kind of responsibility.
Did you, while all this was going on, know that there was something going on? We just had 6 executives of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mae who were just indicted, not indicted, but a civil lawsuit, a fraud suit was filed against them for misinforming people about this. Did you at the time suspect that there was something wrong here?
Well, and I think that civil suit tells you what was going on and why it was wrong. I mean, nobody's walking in and telling me, look, this is how dumb we're being, this is the size of the risk we're engaged in. Do I think that there's a purpose to trying to help poor people get into housing? Yes. I started out, I think, in 1994 with Habitat for Humanity. We actually got one of the companies to help try to get every member of Congress to build one Habitat house. My model was to help the poor earn their housing, not to try to give them housing they couldn't afford. And I kept trying to find a way to use conservative principles to help poor people acquire housing, which I think is still a worthy goal.
Let's talk about another big issue in the campaign, and that is immigration. Mitt Romney has taken such a hard line, it seems to me, on immigration that some within the Republican Party are saying he is simply running off Hispanic voters. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'm not going to comment on Governor Romney. I will say that I do not believe that the American people are going to tolerate going after somebody who's been here 25 years, who has a family, has children and grandchildren, belongs to a local church. What I've proposed is very standard things. Control the border by January 1, 2014, make English the official language of government, go to a much better visa program that makes it more desirable to visit the U.S. legally, go to a much easier deportation program that makes it much easier to move people out who shouldn't be here, have a guest worker program outsourced to American Express, Visa, or MasterCard, so you know that fraud is very unlikely, and have much steeper penalties for employers who hire people illegally. In that context, what I've said, which I think most people think is common sense, is there is a group of people who've been here a long time. And we've talked about creating a citizen review board on the World War II selective service model.
Could you?
One last thing. And we've said if somebody's been here a long time and has an American family willing to sponsor them, they should be subject to review to get a residency permit, not citizenship, but a residency permit. I don't think, and I just disagree with some of my friends, I do not believe the American people are going to send police out to round up folks who've been here 25 years.
That's the question that I'm coming to. There are 11 million of these people. I mean, what are you going to do with them? I mean, you can't build that many prisons to put them in jail, and you can't get that many buses to hold them back.
My guess is that 7 or 8 or 9 million would ultimately go home, get a guest worker permit, come back under the law. But the last 1 million or 2 are people who've been here a very long time. They are very part of they're part of the community. They're not citizens, but they're part of the community. And they're folks, you and I may well know some of these folks. And 25 years ago, they did something wrong, but they've been very good neighbors. They belong to the local church. And as I said, one of the requirements would be they'd have to have an American family sponsor them to be eligible for review by the Citizen Review Board. I think it's a responsible position that recognizes the humanity of the problem, but firmly establishes the rule of law.
The last American troop left Iraq today,
Yes.
overnight. I just wonder, at the end of this long war, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I said in December of 2003, both on Meet the Press and in Newsweek, that we had gone off a cliff, that Ambassador Bremer had given us an assignment that we couldn't do. And I think we're going to find, to our great sadness, that we've lost several thousand young Americans and had many thousand more wounded, undertaking a project that we couldn't do. Last week, when Maliki visited the president, one of the people in his entourage is a commander in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. I mean, people do not understand how much the Iranians have penetrated Iraq, and that the vacuum we've created will lead to, I think, a very, very unstable and very unpleasant environment in Iraq.
We have just a short time left, but let me just ask you, did you think 6 months ago that you would be where you are today?
You know, when I came on the show at one point, and it was as we were sliding down, and I thought I could fight my way back up to being in the top 3 or 4. But I think positive ideas and positive solutions, the contract we've laid out at Newt.org has attracted people. I think they like the idea of somebody who's determined to be positive.
All right, Mr. Speaker, thank you again
Great.
for coming this morning.